Check 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Check 1 2. Can y'all hear me out there? Can y'all hear me? Check 1 2. Blizz, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I
I hope
guess.
they there.
Hope they there, and I hope you two don't get on that funny style BS it
It
was
was.
on.
It's early.
Yeah, hopefully they don't get cute, cause what they pulled the other day, man. What are they doing? So it is what it is, though. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Doggie Diamonds. Introduce yourself to the people.
Salute, salute, salute. Karim Johnson, East New York's finest. Penn Workman houses stand up. Penn Workman stand up. Stand up, Penn Workman. Don't do that. Stand up. Represent Brooklyn native. Ha 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 ha. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in the divine order. Divine mind knows, the divine mind shows. Let's get our mind right, people. What's really good?
Ain't nothing much. So yeah, I don't have no water, so we going to zip through this. No
Me
water.
neither.
Yeah, I don't
I
got no
don't have
water.
no water.
Yeah, I have no water. I played myself. I drank all my BCAAs. I don't have no water, so we gonna zip through this and just keep it, keep it pushing. Shout out to everybody in
Okay.
the building. Shout out to everybody who hit the like button. Who, if you didn't hit the like button, go back and hit that like button so these notifications can go out. So we had a conversation earlier about the mind state of our people, and we was just like, it was very disheartening that you have people like yourself, myself, that constantly on a constant put information out there, and it's not always information pertaining to politics. It's not always information pertaining to even knowledge itself. It's just information, period. All information is important. It could be information on how to fix your damn toilet or whatever the case may be, but it's some of us that's always putting out information, and it just seemed like people are not grasping the information, and they're not taking the information and applying it. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thought is, as always, it's on who is giving the information. And if people have a bias, if people have a prejudice, or if just people don't understand the tone or the people who's giving it, they will either ignore it or reject it, or in some cases, challenge it for no other reason, just to do it. But it's disheartening for me because it can be something, like you said, real simple. Like the other day, I literally was on IG telling people about how many speed cameras that they're putting in the hood. And somebody really went in and challenged me on it. Like, no, they ain't. And I'm like, yo, every day when you pass a different block, it's like they putting these shits up overnight. They are literally having these cameras thrown up quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, that's just simple information. And I'm saying, yo, take heed to that, because that's just another way for them to bleed the community for funds, and also surveillance what's going on in our living areas. And people, again, you always got a few people who want to argue, who want to debate, or who want to, tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. So that's as simple as that. Now, when you talk about things as far as consciousness, because everything is political to me. We are humanity, social grouping is political at this stage. So everything to me is politics, down to the nasty ass produce that we get in our neighborhoods. So again, when we looking at it from that space, I can see where they say certain individuals die from a broken heart dealing with their people.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I can always say that I understand why, because of how people are taught and not educated, because there's a difference between being taught and educated. So I know how our people are moving, especially in these uncertain times. They get bombarded with so much information, and they're living through so much dire straits that they really not trying to hear it. But you have to hear it. You have to. We are in a space where I try to absorb as much information as I can, filter it, utilize what I can, and throw out what I can't. Utilize what is necessary, throw out the rest. But I'm a sponge for it, because if we're not going to believe each other and we're cynical about what they tell us, how do we grow? How do we move? How are we going to find answers to this shit?
Do you think but I believe that information became a popularity contest. So depending on how popular the person is, and depending on, again, I said this before, I say it again, a broke clock is right twice a day. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with a lot of our people, we still talking about we need leaders. Like people, like in 2021, people still saying we don't got leaders, we need leaders. How could honestly, how could anybody listen, but how could anybody be your leader as an adult, right? So if I'm your leader, I control what you do with your children, your wife, your family. If I'm your leader, and this is how leaders are created, and then leaders start abusing their power, because now you start depending on them for leadership outside of things that you know better than. Go ahead.
But leader, that's not true leadership. The reason why leaders are needed is because somebody has to take responsibility for forward movement, and somebody has to take accountability for losses. Somebody has to take accountability. If you just have a group of people just out and about doing whatever they want to do, you're going to continue to live the way we're living now. This is why they say they need leaders. But
go ahead,
when leadership jumps up, you still not falling in line. That's the problem. You have some people who are qualified to lead. One, you don't listen to them. Right? You don't. You ignore them. There's a few who can lead. Two, you allow them to pick their leaders. So you got these scam artists, you got these bootlickers, you got these dudes that are munching on whitey eggplant and selling your people out. So those are the people, because of the imagery, because of how they're marketed to the people fall in line with. But yet and still, they don't follow them to the T, but they follow them enough to get scammed and to have their heart broken.